Wednesday, November 12th. And this is an open session public meeting, and it's subject to being recorded. Your image and your voice will be recorded per the open meeting law, Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20E. My name is Claire Pond, and this is Sue Terrian. She's on the Personnel Committee with me. And the first order of business, I just want to get it done so I don't forget, is the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Okay. I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. Minutes were approved. Okay. So the next order of business on our agenda is the Recreation Committee attendance with the job description and position review. Megan, do you want to come up to the table? So Kristen had sent us a copy of a job description, and I just, is this what we're going to be going over?
Yes, this I went with, talked to Felicia. I know she had taken it to the Recreation Committee. She had asked me to add in the rec software because that was missing from the first draft. And other than that, this is in the, and she asked that at the Rec Committee meeting. This is the form that it was in when it went there.
Okay, all right. Megan, when you looking at the job description and everything, is your committee satisfied with the way it looks and all the tasks and functions that that you see on the job description?
So we thought that the beginning of it was too focused on doing big projects, but that's only like a small piece of the job. It varies from week to week what somebody's going to do. Some weeks, like Felicia was giving examples, some weeks she'll pay bills once or twice a month, and then other weeks she'll make deposits, things like that. So I guess it's not, for the person to be, flexible, I guess, in what they're doing. They're doing
Yeah.
week to week and not have too many set expectations. Like they're going to know every single day what they're doing.
Right. Did we put that in the supervision performs?
I think usually the
So-
way we do it with the essential functions is anything that might be
Yep.
a key part of their job, whether it's done every week or not,
Okay.
we try to capture it. So that way someone doesn't come in and go, oh, I didn't know I had to do anything financial. I don't have a financial
Right.
background.
Right, and I think one of the things that I did notice here on the second page under supervision, it says supervision scope performs administrative duties requiring independent judgment to carry out assignments within established town policies and state laws. So I think one of the things I saw with that particular statement is that the independent judgment, Megan, in terms of, what am I going to work on this week and what do I have to do this week? I don't know, is that something that you, Sue?
Oh,
your
I have
thoughts?
lots of questions. It's me.
Okay, that's all
I
right.
have thoughts on this one.
Okay. Did you want to,
You want me to go?
go ahead.
Okay. Well, first I went through it and I went, that's a lot for a 10-hour week. That's a lot of different jobs.
Yeah.
So I kind of got taken back with that because I think
Mhm.
we're asking way too much for this person to do for 10 hours.
And I think that's where Felicia was saying, week to week, it's not going to be all of those things within the 10 hours.
Right, but I see that the focus that I see, so I watch some meetings and I've talked to different people in town, really needs to be getting on these CPA projects. I think the big projects they're important right now because you have to figure out, can you still do them? Financially, the CPA is saying, we don't even know if we have that money anymore. They have the money, but if the project is can be done for that amount. Let me say that a different way. You know, somebody needs to come in and really get on those CPA projects. You know, I don't,
Okay.
and so that's my first thing is the CPA and the ARPA. So you've got the fields, the pavilion, and the playground. You know, the voters voted for those things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, I mean, I'm down at the soccer field when you are,
Mm-hmm.
and all the people are going, I thought they were fixing these fields.
Mm.
I thought something was happening. And yes, I know someone's watching it, but that person isn't even on rec. You know, he's working with Kristen right now. I think someone from the rec group should also be involved. That
Mhm.
is, we voted for you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The town voted for you to do it. And then I think, you know, the financial, yes, they've got to do finances. They've got to take care of the bills, the invoices, get it to June, get it to Kathy. That has to be a main job. And that's going to take at least, and you two are both sitting here, you know, that person, an hour a week, maybe more, that they're going to have between getting it to you.
Depends on how many checks are.
Right, so,
come
you know, it's 10 hours.
It's not a
These
lot of
things.
time.
And then the other thing I saw as an absolute priority was the MyRec software.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've heard everybody talking about that for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we need somebody to come in and really
Yeah, be able to devote the time to it.
just
Yeah.
really devote to it, get it in, get it involved. So, you know, I saw this as there's a lot there.
There is a lot there.
No one can
I
do this for
agree.
10 hours.
Mm.
I think some of these things have to come off. And then I went back, after I saw that, I went back and I read the position purpose. And the purpose is to provide administrative and financial support to ensure that budgets, contracts,
Yeah.
and records are properly managed, and that the committee projects comply with the town and state requirements.
Okay.
So then when you go down and all of a sudden it's proposed new programs, that's not even the purpose.
Mm.
Do we see this position, I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Yeah, no,
interrupt. Do we see the position, like, working with, it's a 10-hour position, and again, there's a lot of things on here for
Mhm.
10 hours. Do we see them going to the recreation committee, whoever, and saying, okay, I have,
Yeah, delegating more. so,
exactly,
Yeah.
that's,
Yep, I think that's,
I think that's gonna be so important.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody has.
and I think that will definitely be part of it, like, you know, especially with the planning the events and things like that, like when we do the Fall Fest,
Right.
that's, you know, a combined effort of everybody, it's not,
Right. Right, and also rec can also reach out to, I mean, there's a good number of people that they reach out to now
Mhm.
that help them do
Right.
things, which is another thing, but the, with this job itself.
Yeah, no, I'm having, and like knowledge and ability, there's not one thing about any recreation, any working with children, working with adults. There's nothing about that in here. It's all business, which I honestly believe that that's what the rec committee needs right now. They need that help with the administration of things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, that's why we have a committee. And unfortunately, I know your committee's like ours, it's not full,
Mhm.
and you need more people.
Mhm.
But right now, we need that business part, the administration. You need to be, you know, be able to get to Kathy, get to June. And there's not anything in here about working with activities, working with children, working with adults. It's all,
So be more specific about
well,
and also having that background coming in.
but if you're putting more in,
Right,
and it's only
Right,
10 hours.
right.
This is where I'm having a
Right.
really hard time. I think this needs to get scaled back and maybe go to just the administrative right now. Try to get that started, get the 10 hours, get those projects going that the town is looking for. But nobody can do this in 10 hours a week.
Mm.
And it's not fair. And you can't say, well, come in and interview and we're not gonna expect this of you now, maybe in 2 years. No, you can't do that. It's gotta be
Yeah, yeah.
realistic sitting here. I-
Okay, so just focus on the 10 hours of the administration
got-
piece of it.
I think that's, I mean,
Because like you said, that's the most,
that's right
Important.
now the
Yep,
most
yep.
necessary part.
Mhm.
You know, and I think as far as the programs and that's finding more people to be on the rec committee.
Mhm.
You know, which is hard. I know that. Getting volunteers is not easy.
So when you say administrative, do you see these as administrative functions in terms of the tasks?
Most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of propose new programs, I don't.
right, yeah, the most important would be like you said, the rec software,
The rec software.
the financial parts of it.
Yep. I mean, those three things I thought are really the focus that's necessary right now.
Mhm.
Is the projects that are towns voted on, the financial matters, getting the bills where they're supposed to be on time and together, and getting the MyRec software, because once that gets started and you can have somebody that focuses in on that,
Mhm.
Yep.
then
And
you can
that's-
see what's happening.
Yeah, and my understanding of the MyRec software too is that it's gonna take up, in a way, check off a lot of these boxes that
Right.
we're saying you're gonna be responsible for.
Right.
But if they are, if they got the software going, that's gonna take care of
Yeah.
payments and things like
Right.
that. Cause
Yeah.
it will all just be automatic rolling in.
But then in 2 years, or a year after this has got started, then we can go back and say, well, did it really do that? And now what do we need? I'd rather see that than have somebody come and
Yeah, too
go,
much on the plate.
this is
rather-
a crazy
yeah.
job, I can't do this,
Mm.
and not get things done. I mean, and it's gonna be hard to get someone,
Mhm.
to come in for 10 hours.
Right. Any thoughts, Kristen, from?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I
No.
understand what you're saying, and I have two thoughts. First, to go back to the projects, I am thrilled that Bob is back involved.
Yes.
He and I did the rec courts, and
Mhm.
he is a godsend. And being able to bring his sort of design, architect, engineering background, because that's a piece I don't have. I can handle the procurement and help with contracts and all of those pieces, but I've gotta have a scope and some design
Right.
to move forward with those. So I do now have one for the pavilion, and I do have, I'm actually I've been working with John
John,
Glumac
for
on the,
right. The fields.
field renovation, and he sent me the scope for the well, so working on getting that piece of it out. And the playground, I know Lisa Wysocki actually served on a playground committee when her and her husband lived in Chelmsford, so she put together, it was a bit ago and may not be perfect, so she had put together a potential scope and sent it over to rec for
Right,
them
'cause those
to
change a lot. I mean,
look
I
at. Well,
I-
and they're
did
different
that
everywhere.
part too.
Mhm.
In the past, I've done the playground thing.
And it depends on what the funding source, it's
Absolutely.
all a whole bunch of that,
That changes
so.
constantly.
I certainly am trying to move those forward. I do have 8 bids to put out right now, so there is a lot, but I'm trying to prioritize especially the ARPA projects, because those have to be done by the end of next year, or we lose the money.
Right.
So like the playground is all ARPA, so that's a big one to work on. As far as administrative, yes, and I think that's really key. I also think, as the position does report to the town administrator, but work with the recreation committee, because I'm here,
Yep.
if there is a question about
Guidance,
prioritizations or saying
Right.
I'm doing too much, that needs to be communicated to me as well and back to the rec committee,
Mhm.
and we
Yeah.
can work together and try to figure out, is this a priority, isn't it? But I think the day-to-day is a challenge when you don't have a dedicated employee,
That's-
because there's so much that goes on here that it's hard to explain, but there's
Right.
a lot.
No, and how do you see that happening, Megan? Do you see like rec coming in and having a meeting with Kristen? Can you do it through email? Because like we just said, it's not fair to Kristen either.
Mhm.
She's not the rec person.
Mhm.
So she needs to be able to communicate. She can do the administrative stuff, but, communicate back and forth. Do you see that as a meeting type situation, or do you think rec will be able to send emails to her on a regular basis once this gets started?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think that, part of the just communicating with everybody, so
Right.
we could, whatever works best for Kristen, if it works for her to come in
Yeah.
and have a face-to-face meeting, or,
And hopefully this position will help facilitate that too, right?
Right.
I mean, in terms of
Absolutely.
meetings and setting things up and hopefully in their 10 hours a week.
mhm.
Well, and that's
Right.
why I'd love to have them sit, initially with me, Kathy, June, and Dee, because Dee handles so much of the HR.
Yeah.
Kathy and June, obviously, on the
Yeah.
finance side, and, we're working on developing some SOPs for internal processes as well to help with boards, committees, volunteers, employees. But in the meantime, if we could just get them started off that way on the right foot with the knowledge of how things move, internally,
Yep.
I think that would
I think
be
that'd be great.
really helpful. And I don't expect someone to sit here, for 10 hours a week at all. An occasional meeting, emails, phone calls, all
Right.
of
Oh,
those
yeah.
things would work
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
And just definitely somebody who, if they're not sure what to do, feels comfortable reaching out and asking those questions, because we're always happy to help
Right.
and
Right.
guide folks and get them off on the right
Right.
foot before all of a sudden we're like, oh, whoop, we never told you that, now it's gone sideways.
Right.
So we
That's
wanna make sure we do
My
that.
thought was to get, because it is a new position, started out, like we said, at the
Small.
10 hours.
Right.
Get the position started, see what's happening, see what's needed, before we get ourselves, like you just said, oh, whoops, we forgot to tell you that one.
And there's a lot going on, as everyone knows, limited staffing, so it's
Oh,
really
right.
key to
Yeah.
prioritize and make sure we get folks off, on the right foot when they come
Does
in.
it mention anything about the payroll now? Cause that's something that we've incorporated recently. I just didn't know if it actually addressed that.
You're talking about the policy,
The actual processing of the payroll.
So they'll be processing their own payroll?
so
Would
they
they-
would prepare their payroll, and then I would have to sign off on it,
Would it be for like the recreation counselors in the summertime? Is that what you're talking about,
Yeah,
June?
cause
And
right
they-
now, I think Dee's pretty much doing most of it.
And how many people do you process weekly right now? None, okay,
It's
that
only
would at
summer.
least let this person,
yes.
so that they're not hitting the ground running, at least they could learn that as they go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right now it's really just monthly, like the workout class that we do, and then every now and then we did a yoga session or something at
Okay.
beginning of last year.
Okay.
Well, I more was working with the youth who were hired to do the programs at the school.
In the
or
summertime,
spring
yeah,
programs, yes.
And that was one of my things that I've been bringing it up for 2 or 3 years now, so the communication that there are any classes. Again, it's not on the town website. None of the classes are on the town website.
Right, yeah, it's social media pretty much is the only
Right, but when
way,
you're
or-
an
Right,
old,
of
old
course,
person like
Well,
me.
and I mean, we try to do flat, but right, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a
Right.
definite, we have that conversation of how can we
Right, and we were
try to
hoping,
reach
because
more.
I know I had spoken to Julie several times about this. She kept saying that this MyRec software should help a little bit with that, so I hope that that is one of the
Mhm.
cases in terms of, so that people going onto the town website and that aren't on Facebook and aren't on social media, that they would be able to.
Yeah, I believe there'll be some kind of link, then they can just go
Beautiful.
to that, and then that will
Perfect.
it will say,
Exact-
classes, you go down, it's very,
Exactly, because I,
user-friendly from what I
there's so
understand,
many
yeah.
of us that don't do the Facebook or anything. We
Right.
didn't know about classes, the pickleball and the this and the that
Mhm.
and everything, so I was like, and when people told us, we were like, oh, well,
right, that would have been nice to,
yeah, so that would be wonderful, great.
Well, and the good news on that is we manage the website,
Mhm.
yay. So if somebody even drafted up,
A list of
a
events.
design of it, a list of events, and the in the format you'd wanna see it, or if it's a flyer, we noticed, we were actually looking at Facebook stats and website stats, people respond to pictures
Yeah.
about 1,000
Yeah.
times more than they
Yeah.
do anything else.
Yeah.
Yep,
But so even if you forward a flyer to us, we can throw that right up on the
Beautiful.
homepage of the website.
nice,
So,
Okay.
and
nice.
send it our way.
So,
Wait a minute, I have one more thing I just
Okay.
remembered.
all
And
right,
if people sign up to receive notifications from the website, then that will go right to their inbox when that gets loaded
Yes.
up there.
Wow.
I know I just went on and on that they really need to be doing administrative, but seeing that it's in here, it says weighing up, I know we have this discussion with every job, weighing up to 25, occasionally lift up to 25 pounds. Pickleball nets are probably more than 25 pounds.
Okay.
A box of decorations are probably more than 25 pounds. I think we'll have, gotta raise that up.
What were you thinking? See, and I don't have a frame of reference, I've never picked a pickleball net, so, I mean,
Well,
even
I carry a
50 or-
50-pound bag of grain all the time, and I
Okay.
think, maybe, because as we've said many times, if it's in the job description that it's 25 and they get there and when they have to pick something up and it's 35, they go, it's not in my job description.
Or they get injured, and then we have a.
And then we're in trouble
injury
because we
claim.
said,
Fair enough.
So what do we think up to 50 pounds?
that's something I
can't
think they've
imagine.
gotta
I can't
come up with,
imagine, yeah.
what the,
Yeah, I think 50 seems,
plus I think if it's more than 50, they should be asking someone to help.
right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And perhaps a brief description of some of the items that they'd have to move, such as pickleball nets.
Yeah.
That would be really helpful.
But even a, box of balls or one of the bags, they can get heavy.
Yes.
Or even like you said, decorations, or when we were setting up for the Fall Fest, just a hay bale or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
If somebody's
Yeah.
not used to
Right.
picking something like
Right.
that up.
Yeah,
It's not that bad.
Right. I know you're.
I carry 15-pound bags of dog food, so that was my frame of reference, so I'm like, oh yeah, 25 should be fine.
Yeah.
Well, when I started to talk to different people, they said even a kitty litter box, which I don't have cats, they said it can be up to 40 pounds.
Wow.
Like if you get them in,
BJ's or something.
BJ's or something,
right,
Yeah.
right.
Like
so
an industrial, yeah,
it's,
or a bulk,
Okay.
but buying it in bulk
but
kind of
we don't
thing.
want anybody,
Well, hope,
Right, or
think
what's a
that it's-
case of water even,
Yeah.
like how
Right.
much is that, right?
right. Anything else?
I'll
that you-
stop, I promise.
So, given the information that we've reviewed here, are we comfortable with making a motion to approve the job description?
I'm not.
You're not?
I think they need to go back and figure out what their real priority is and talk to Kristen about it too, because, to me, this is just, I'm sorry to sound rude, but it's just not realistic for 10 hours. I think you're asking somebody to do something they can't.
So do you think it should have more information about delegating to the committee?
Delegating what the committee's gonna do with, work with no, it doesn't have to say what the committee does, because this is their job description.
Right,
But they will work with the committee. But I think this stuff should be pared down, so it's a more realistic to 10 hours a week. That's my big thing, sorry.
May have to get a dolly, cause some of the nets go up to 140 pounds.
Exactly, that's why I'm
So,
25
yeah.
and we,
Guess I never tried to move a net.
It's not a one person,
No.
not a
Thing.
one person
no,
job.
so if you say
for that.
50 and if it's over that, then they should get someone to help.
Megan, do
Some
you
of them are on
think,
wheels,
in
too.
terms of going back to your committee, do you think that this list here could be pared down and you could work with Kristen on determining what should be on the job description right now, or, is that something that you're?
Yeah, I mean, I
your
know we
team
wanna
could do?
move it, we wanna move it forward, so.
Exactly,
So we're gonna
exactly.
do what we can do to
Yeah.
try and get it,
Yeah.
like you said, in a realistic scope,
We
and
just
then
don't want the
later,
person to be set up.
blindsided kind of, yeah.
Set, exactly, set up to fail, cause they can't get all these things done.
Or even not, like you said, not even come in, cause
Not
they
even
just
come
say,
in.
this is not gonna be 10 hours. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and so perhaps there's a different way that they can be worded in such a way, work with the recreation committee to delegate these functions, work with the recreation committee to propose new programs, and so that it doesn't fall just on this person.
Right, so in the wording, pair it with, like,
Right.
that you have a team,
Yeah.
it's not
Exactly,
just
you're
one
coordinating the
person. Okay.
process.
Yeah,
And-
maybe like 2 groups, these are the things that you're responsible for, and then in coordination with the recreation committee, you will,
Yeah,
hopefully add to these projects.
yeah,
Because, it is better if one person is in charge of the finances and does it the same
Mhm.
way every
Yes.
time, and,
yep,
they get it the same way every time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's helpful, I would be willing to at least take a stab at paring it down a little and then send it to recreation, and you guys can say, yeah, that really should be, like if I do a track changes, you guys be like, no, that really needs to be in here, and we can have that dialogue. Or if you guys wanna meet first and tell me what your priorities are, I can rework it and put it in, we can do it either way, so I'm
'Cause
happy
even-
to help.
Even the first one that we had, that was presented at select board, that's more pared down.
Yeah, there were some things added in
Yeah.
that were important to rec, and I mean, I wanna
Okay.
honor that too. but
Right.
I
Yeah.
hear what you're
But
saying.
if you could do it in coordination with, and
Yep.
see,
I think the whole thing is that we don't want, the recreation committee to think that we don't think they're doing these things because
Right, we
these thi-
recognize that that's what's
Exactly,
going
but
on,
we
yeah.
just don't want this position itself to feel like they're being set up to fail with so many tasks that are on them.
Mhm.
Let's see what we can do to try and pare it down a little bit. And if Kristen, if you wanna work with the team, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
I hope that was helpful in
Yes,
terms
it
of
is, it is.
talking about
Yes.
everything.
No, it is, and
when
I
call-
understand
when
what you're saying about.
Yeah, when I called Felicia to let her know, and she told me that other folks, she couldn't come tonight and everything, she said that one of the things is to make sure that, and I said, well, we'll talk about the functions and everything, and she said that, that you're coming as a representative of the group, you would talk about the functions,
Mhm.
so that's great, thank you.
And one thing that she mentioned too was getting a laptop for that person.
Yeah.
So and obviously I don't believe it's anywhere in here about anything like that, but I know that that's something, they should have their own rec designated laptop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that way, when it gets passed on, then you can just, here's the laptop,
Yep.
and you take it, and
Right.
it's got all the
Yep.
all the
I think
things on
that's
it.
And it's
so.
not at someone's home, I mean,
Yeah.
especially
Right.
if it's documents about,
Right.
payroll,
Yeah.
kids,
More
Yeah.
personal
filling out,
information, yeah.
exactly, so we do set aside a small amount of money every year in our data systems budget to do a couple of computers, and I think that would be a priority, I believe we could make that work
Great,
this year.
good.
We haven't bought any computers out of it yet, so, I mean, it's small, but it's like 3,000 we set aside, and that's for like, if we have to do repairs, if we have to do purchases. But the good news is we got a grant, last year in the FY '25 budget to replace laptops. We got a state earmark and we replaced a lot of them. So I'm in a better situation financially with that now. So I don't see an issue with us making that
And
happen.
I think it would be so beneficial, also help during the interview process, I think, too, when they're talking with somebody about the position and everything, that you would have the laptop from the town to be able to work on some of these things and pass that along to your team if you were to move on and go, or do
Mhm.
something. Good. All right.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you. No,
anything
no,
that you can think
It's all
of?
very helpful, yeah.
Okay, good. And Kristen will be working with your team.
Okay, great.
Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So the next item of business was review and discussion of the CPI information, and approval of a cost of living adjustment. We haven't really discussed that, so I did do a little bit of research. I did not go on and look at I didn't get a chance to call the local the towns around us.
We got some data on it.
Oh, good, okay, so if you have some information on that, that'd be great.
Do you want to start with your information?
Yeah, I pulled off the Bureau of Labor Statistics information that we usually look at every year. And plus the Social Security one, which came out, their COLA is 2.78% Social Security rate. And it looks like the average for the Northeast region is about 3%, 2.9 to 3%. Boston, Cambridge, Newton is about 3.2%.
sure that we've ever done a 3%, but with, given any information that you have, perhaps that might be different, I don't know.
Sure.
Okay.
I did prepare a handout, if you wanna take one down, pass it around. And that just to start off, that does dovetail or, align with the information that I've been researching. And I just wanted to start off by saying, I believe, and I've said this at the select board meeting, so it shouldn't be a shock. We have done a great job bringing the union salaries up to par where they need to be. And the next step is to get the non-union salaries up to where they need to be. So with that in mind, given the research that I've done, I'm actually recommending two increases. The first is a 3% COLA, and the second is a 2% one-time market adjustment, which is equivalent to approximately a one-step increase.
Yeah.
The reason I don't say step increase is because some of our employees are on salary, they're not on the
Right,
schedule.
right.
We wanna get them on the schedule,
Yeah.
but, and also, until we redo the plan, some of the steps are like 1.9.
I know.
So
Yeah,
I just said
yeah,
approximately
it's kind of been
two.
like
Yeah, it's been weird.
It's June's estimate.
try to keep, every year we'd try and like, how are we gonna do this, you know?
Yep.
And then somebody would be off by a penny or something like that, and you can't move it up because that person's at $2.99 instead of $2.98, and that's funny.
Exactly. So that's why all of this is estimated when I give you the numbers and the estimated cost and all of those things, so just to keep it in mind. The first thing I wanna just talk about are municipal salary trends. We talk about this every meeting I go to, whether it's
Yep.
Mass Municipal Human Resources Association, the MMA, Massachusetts Managers Association. We have a STAM, which is Small Town Administrators listserv that goes around. And the shortage of municipal workers is becoming extreme. We have a huge gap between a lot of extremely knowledgeable people that are close to or retiring, and we're not seeing
Yep.
folks come in on the back end. We're starting to see it a little bit more now that they're doing better jobs with job fairs, and the state's
Yeah.
gone and done videos and trying to attract the 20-something crowd. But again, you're bringing somebody in that case without experience that
Yep.
you have to train. That's also going to look at what the salary is in this current market. So employee retention is key. I can't stress it enough. It's far more cost effective because we also have to, obviously when someone leaves who's been here and has 5 or 7 weeks of vacation, we have to pay out that.
Yeah,
Then we have to recruit a new, lesser experienced employee at current market salaries. So it is really happening, and we do talk about it a lot. As you probably have all seen, and I check MMA regularly, starting salaries have increased dramatically. This is an employee's market. Some people say, nobody wants to work. Well, it kind of has fed over into you're a unicorn, I want you, I'm gonna have to pay
Yep.
for you what you want. And now we see that younger generations are only staying in jobs 3 to 5 years, sometimes even less. So we need to make sure that we give an incentive to our current employees not to jump. I think that's really important to say. So with that in mind, how did I arrive at the COLA? We do have on our Mass Municipal Human Resources Association shared drive. Every town starts filling,
Yeah.
you've seen this, they start
Yeah.
filling in their COLAs. And believe it or not, we've got about, I would say, a third to half of the towns
That's
that have
great.
started to fill in their anticipated or what they're requesting.
yep,
We're going from 1% to, believe it or not, as high as 5%, which is Harvard.
Yeah.
But they, I think, did 8%
Right.
last year, so I don't necessarily, I mean, I'd love to do that,
Yeah.
but it's not realistic in our budget situation. When I look at the average, we really are averaging around 3%, which dovetails
Yep.
with the CPI,
Yep.
the Social Security COLA, as you mentioned, which is 2.78
Yep.
for FY '26. I also learned that the Social Security COLA has averaged 3.1% over the past 10 years. So that is where we're at. And also Worcester Regional, the pension COLA has been 3%
oh, great.
for the past 2 years.
Okay,
And the other reason I really want to advocate for that COLA is because health insurance rate increases, and I know you know
I
this better than
know.
anyone.
Ugh.
We went up 12% in FY '26. I wouldn't be surprised if we went up to 20 in FY '27. And the reason I say that is we just did the retiree
Mhm.
renewal, 20.1%. Is that what it was, Kathy?
Wow.
I-
Unbelievable.
Right, and that's for, you know, a partial plan that we don't even have that many employees on. So we are looking at
Mhm.
current employees now facing
Mhm.
those costs, which, as you know, a
Yep.
percentage of a higher amount
Yep.
is exponentially
Right.
more. So we actually did an analysis of if we just use, say we use 12%. I can almost, I bet money that it's gonna be more than that, but we said, let's use 12%. And Dee put together some information for you and did a fabulous job. If you would indulge us for a moment, I'd like to
Yeah.
have her present it.
So the first page just sets out what the rates were for fiscal 25, 26, and what we anticipate at the same increase as last year, which is not realistic. It will be more than last year. We've already been told that. And this is what the individuals pay for either the individual or the family plan. And then the next page is, in fiscal '26, we gave a 3% COLA. And you can see by the graph that the 3% is in the blue, and the individual plan is gray, and the family plan is the gold color. And you can see that in some instances, the COLA was completely overtaken by the cost of the increase of insurance.
Mhm.
So people are bringing home less money because of the increased cost.
Yep.
That was in '26. Now, the next several pages start at a 2% COLA and go all the way up to a 5% COLA. And you can see how each step percentage, half-point percentage, changes the effect it has on the person's really take-home pay, how it,
Mhm.
the adjustment would be. So in these cases, the black is the family plan. And you'll see on the first page, I listed how many people have the family plan. I think it's 15 at this point. And the gray is for the individual plan, and the blue is the COLA amount at 2%. So you can see that a 2% COLA doesn't even help folks with the increase in the health insurance. And then you can just look at each page, and you can see that until you get to a certain level, the cost of the insurance is really outpacing
Right,
the
yeah.
COLA.
Fortunately, I don't think
been
right
20
now
years.
anybody's gonna
Yeah.
help with the insurance. I think that's something, we're looking at a hill that we can't climb.
Exactly,
People are-
but the point is that if people are taking home less money
Right.
2 years in a
Yeah.
row,
Yep.
and they can go somewhere else to
Yep.
have that be
Mhm.
different and
It's
take
gonna
home
be-
more money.
This is gonna be a lovely year for insurance.
Yes.
It's gonna be horrible, and,
Yes.
and
We've
for
already-
the viewing public, what's happening is
Mhm.
the federal level has reduced how much they're going to pay,
Right.
and the insurance companies
Yeah.
are private and budget driven.
Mm.
So they're about making a profit, so they're not gonna take that
We're
hit, they're
back-
passing it on to the
Right.
consumer.
We're back to the 80s. In the 1980s, we had 20-25% increases depending upon which health insurer you had, and it was awful at that time. And then things kind of simmered down a little, went down a little bit. But then now here we go again. It's sad. I don't know if it's the experience that, everybody's experience with the insurers, or whether it's, I don't know,
Yeah, that federal Medicaid legislation that passed, that put in those kind of changes, it's like a shell game, right? So
Yeah.
it's not where people go, oh, they're saving us money, look at, they're cutting back how much spending the federal government is doing. That's fantastic,
Right.
but the insurance companies, like I said, are not gonna take that hit.
That's right.
They're gonna pass it on
Right.
to us,
And
so.
and working on the hospital end, like I did all those years, the other side of the coin is the insurers are not negotiating with the hospitals. Because I just got a
gonna
notice,
bring that up.
I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I just got a notice that the place where I used to work, UMass Memorial, is in negotiations with Blue Cross right now, and not sure if they're gonna be able to come to a reimbursement rate that's satisfactory to the hospital that will keep the hospital services running.
And they
So-
have till the end of the
Yeah,
year to
yeah.
work it out
And-
while it's,
And
it's
here we
getting
all
close.
are in open enrollment, well, seniors are in open enrollment, but it's just an interesting, so I'm sorry that everybody has to go through this because it's very painful for everybody.
Well, and so that's really kind of what drove the COLA recommendation that I am making. On the flip side, the market adjustment recommendation that I'm making of 2% is to try to soften the blow that I genuinely believe is coming when we redo the new FY26
Yeah.
class and comp plan.
Yeah.
And so we would be implementing that comp plan in 27. At that time, it'll be 7 years old
Good.
because we did
Yep.
it in 20.
Yeah,
It was also pre-COVID, as we all know.
Right.
Literally, the world has changed since COVID.
that's right.
And we have only done nominal COLA adjustments to the class and comp plan during this period. So the good news is, I hope, well, the bad news is that the state was supposed to be funding a grant program this year.
Right.
And so I asked for 10,000 at Maytown meeting. We received it. We were hoping to get
Yeah.
the balance from the grant,
Right.
and they ended up not putting it in the FY26 budget. It's a community compact grant. We were really well
Right.
positioned to receive it. I
Yeah.
have a 6-page scope from the Collins Center.
That's the grant we got last time when we did the comp study.
That's what
That
I-
was wonderful.
That's what I learned,
Yeah.
and because we haven't gotten it in 6
7
years, they
years,
said we
yeah.
were very well positioned to get
Good.
it, and it got cut out of the FY26 state budget. Community Compact has been going on, I wanna say, for at least 10 years. Governor Baker brought it in.
Yeah.
It was not something anyone anticipated seeing cut.
Yeah.
And, well, given everything going on now, I don't anticipate there'll be a mid-year budget adjustment to bring it back. So we need an extra $6,000. I worked with the Collins Center. I pared the scope back. We are able to, unfortunately at this time, remove highway. We have to remove highway
Okay.
because they have unionized. So they cannot
Okay.
be part of that study. So
All right.
it saves us a little bit of money
Okay.
on the study.
All right.
But we also obviously are gonna have to negotiate a union contract that's gonna have its own set of
Right.
COLAs and step increases in it.
Mhm.
So, you know, with all of that in mind, I would like to see us spread this cost increase over multiple years, and I would like to see us start with a 2% with the idea that there are going to be a significant number of positions that
Yeah.
are going to need a larger chunk dollar
Mhm.
amount of market
Mhm.
adjustment, and I think this will take away a little bit of the pain that we think that we're going to face and help spread it over 100 years. Help spread over multiple years. Spread over 100 years, no problem.
I don't have to
Um,
worry
Just a
then.
penny a year.
That's right.
We'll be
You guys
good.
are done. Your work is finished. Yeah, that's right. We won't be here. So it is a large number. We do have a significantly higher number of non-union employees than union employees to keep in mind.
Okay. Good.
So the approximate cost to do the 3% COLA and the 2% market adjustment for non-union employees is $71,000. Now, I know standing alone, that sounds like a huge unattainable number. The reason that I believe we have the justification for doing it is looking at the union contracts and looking at our budget situation. So, police union did a contract adjustment in FY26. It was approximately $180,000 for 9 officers. Fire did a adjustment in the first year of their contract at approximately $68,000 for 4 full-time
Was that a
employees.
market adjustment? Are you saying it was an adjustment, or was that
That was
an
negotiated.
across-the-board increase?
That's across the board increase for union employees from, well, police is all union except the chief,
Right.
but for fire, just keeping in
Okay.
mind that the call employees
Yeah.
are non-union.
Yeah.
There are a couple of part-timers now that have met the hours to qualify for the new contract, so that would include a couple of those. I believe there's 3 that
Okay.
pay into the union in addition to the 4 full-timers, so that's 7.
So would the call people be part of this here or no?
No, so they're, yes, they're
The
non-union.
non-union ones?
Correct, not
Okay.
part of the union
All right.
contract,
Yeah.
part of non-union,
All right.
but I had a really good conversation with Chief McQuillan. They are, the open shifts We really
I know.
thought that modifying the contract would help, and it did to some extent. There's a national shortage of paramedics and EMTs that I would argue is even worse than regular municipal employees right now. So the challenge we're seeing is, if I'm call, I also don't have that dedication necessarily to the department.
Right.
I'm here once or twice a month. I don't know the rules every time I come in. I'm not necessarily invested in, washing
Right.
the vehicles, cleaning the station. I'm just here to make some money.
Right.
So if other communities are paying higher for that, they're gonna go work on their call departments. If we invest in full-time employees, that really commits people to the position. They're more
Right,
invested, they're
right.
more likely to stay. So Chief is finding that given his existing budget, he's been able to shift those resources. As you know, he went to 4 full-time
That's right.
employees last
Mhm.
year, and
Right,
his
yeah.
plan is to go to 5. Because he looked at the number of open shifts and if he can shift that funding from the call to the full-time. And then you have guaranteed coverage, so you're not having all these open shifts with no one filling them and overtime that you're paying as well. So it's one of the reasons when we did the budget, we combined part-time and full-time wages, so there could be that movement
Okay, good,
if it made sense to do
Alright.
so for the department.
all right.
So, I also do wanna point out, we're struggling with the FY '26 budget. I understood the reasoning behind the select board and the FinCom, for trying to scale it back as much as they could. But, the FY '26 budget was level funded from 25 for town, on the town side, which is unheard of. It was a $250,000 cut to do that. We have shrunk our expense budgets to a razor thin margin. And in fact, as you'll see if you've seen the warrant, I have to make some adjustments already, and we're at the beginning of November. And I knew we needed to make those adjustments last month. My fear is, hitting the reserve fund. And I said to the select board a couple weeks ago, the only thing left is personnel. And I said, we are so short, people are working outside of their job descriptions.
Yeah.
I heard loud and clear, we are not cutting our people. We really respect and value our employees, but I just wanted to make that clear. I think we have sacrificed ourselves to fund the school budget for the past couple
I
of
agree.
years.
I
And
agree.
I am going to strongly push for taking our fair share this year. So that's where I'm at. And it's gonna have to be a choice of the town takes what it needs, which is always a smaller amount. And if the school needs more, it's gonna have to go to town meeting for, excess levy capacity or eventually an override, because that excess levy is gonna run out.
Right.
So I am so committed and I believe so strongly that we need to advocate for our existing employees. We have built an amazing team here.
Yep.
I know we had a lot of turnover in the past couple of years as people retired, which is our
Right,
genuine problem.
right.
But we've invested a lot of
Yep.
time and effort into our existing employees, and I wanna do our best that we can to keep them. So that's my spiel, I'll stop now.
Honestly, I'm personally, I'm happy to hear that we are looking at the market adjustment again. I mean, the first couple years that I was put on personnel committee, we had no town administrator, and I did the 2018 and 2019 and trying to get all that done and try to move people up as we could and what we could afford. So I'm happy to see that we're looking, because retention is really a big key, and you do have a great team here now, so I was kind of glad to hear that.
Surprised
So,
me,
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I'm glad
No,
to
Some
hear.
of them.
Yes, I'm listening
Uh-oh.
to.
No finger pointing.
No,
Okay,
everything.
hit me, cause I know you're ready, I see it.
Yep, I'm gonna be devil's
what it is.
advocate
Yeah.
again.
Go for it.
Here we go. It's really disappointing to me when I sit in a select board meeting or we do things here and the union people get their steps every year and they never get reviewed. So if they pull a major something, they still get that step. Meanwhile, these guys aren't getting anything.
Correct. And that is often the case, unfortunately, in cities and towns. They call the non-union employees the redheaded stepchildren,
Right,
basically
okay.
the town hall employees.
So the union people will get this 3% COLA, correct?
No, this is
No,
non-union only.
no.
They will
They
not
get
get
what's
it,
in their contract.
they will
Yeah.
not get it at all.
No, they
It's
get
what-
what's
it's
in their
whatever
contract.
It's
Right,
in
they
their
get
con-
what they want.
They don't
Okay.
get this.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yep.
if they were to,
Yep.
I'd say we need to switch this number right around. and make the COLA, and then make a bigger number at the bottom.
No, and this will not touch
Right.
them at all. Well, listen, I'm
well,
happy to go bigger, don't
they-
get me wrong.
No.
They get a COLA, but it's whatever was negotiated into their contract.
Previously.
Right.
Right, okay, that's
Yeah,
how I
exactly.
remembered it, but I'm
Right.
just,
Yes.
Yep,
It's a fair question.
it's when you sit
It
there
is.
and every time they get
mhm,
a step and you go, wait a minute.
yeah,
You know, June's not getting it every year.
right.
If you got that every year, all these years you've been here,
You might make $450,000.
you could retire.
I couldn't afford you.
Let's do this.
Oh,
And a lot of other towns do have the steps. I came from other towns. They have the COLA and the
And
step.
you're on
I
that
don't wanna
bigger.
lose him to another town because he's learning it and he's gonna be like, I can go here and make more money.
right,
Right.
He's a good employee. I don't
Right,
wanna lose him,
right.
you know?
And we shouldn't be a training ground. We are not, yes, we're small,
Yeah.
but the
we're busy.
workload is busy.
It's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
No,
the
it's-
workload
busy
is-
Well, I
all the
think
time.
smaller places, you know, I
You
think
do
smaller,
more.
you do more.
You
I
have
still
to
because
work
work
you-
at
harder.
Stowe
you-
and Meters and I'm like, I have more work here than I did there.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy.
yeah,
The
and
last,
we're smaller.
Right.
Right.
I went to a labor relations seminar 2 weeks ago, and I sat at a table with people from, I like to call them the Boston area, I won't name specific towns, but when they were like, Berlin, where's Berlin? How big is Berlin? The woman next to me turned to me and goes, oh, so you wear about 5 hats and so does everybody
Yeah,
else that
that's
you
right.
work for. She goes,
Absolutely.
you do more work
Yeah.
in a small town.
Yeah,
And I
that's
went,
true.
it's nice to see somebody acknowledge that.
right. And that would be the same with, you know, small organization, any small organization.
any
We are,
small.
everybody steps right in and
Right.
everybody helps one another and.
And we have those people that are not like, not in my job description, I'll do, you know, whatever needs to be
Right.
done, and
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
value this team so much, because people step up every single day.
I agree.
So I'd rather see, I'm on the boat now, I'd rather see some merit raises for some people. You know, and like you just said, those people that got, not in my job description.
Right.
Then,
We don't have a lot of those, though.
No,
no,
you don't,
no,
you
every
don't, you
group
don't.
has,
I
no,
don't think so.
every group has one or two,
Right,
realistic,
Fair.
every group.
Yep.
And every group has the people that do what they have to do, and
Yeah.
then there's always that extra percentage that go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And they should be rewarded for that.
Right, and we've done merit increases almost exclusively, up until this point.
Right.
And we didn't do
Yeah.
any last year.
Yeah.
Because of how lean, you know, and the directive I received in
Yeah.
working with the select board was,
Yeah.
we're starting as flat as we can go, we're
Yeah.
not increasing.
Yeah.
That was hard for a lot of people, it really
Right.
was. And
No,
I mean, a
it's-
2% COLA is sort of like
I know.
to a lot of
I-
people.
I know.
And, you know, yes, there are definitely, we need to look at merit increases, but the first thing we need to do is do that class and comp plan and make it, when I
Right.
see a position is
Yeah.
$5,000 underpaid,
Right,
well, this cuts a little chunk out of that, but
We
we're
had
gonna
a
have
couple
to
of
put
those
that
last
forward.
time.
Mhm.
When they did it the last time,
Yeah.
we
Yeah, we
had,
had to do it over 2 years.
we
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
split it over years to get people
Yeah.
up.
Yep,
so we did a little bit the first year, a little bit the second year.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think there was even a third year piece of it, so.
and I see no,
That's it, time
That's
to go
it.
home.
lights
That's
out.
Yeah.
I don't see any positions that are not at least underfunded by 2%. In
Right.
fact, there are some that are under by 15
Just
or
hold it
20%.
in, Claire.
Oh.
You can
There
increase
you go.
it.
We got another hour.
So, I mean, I've been wanting to do that class and comp plan for a few years now. You know, there was a desire to get grant money, which I totally understand. We can't wait anymore. We're at the
No.
point where we
Good.
need to do it. And I genuinely believe we need to do this. And I know face an uphill climb at Select Board and FinCom as well. This is a hill I'm willing to die on.
Whatever help personnel can give on that
I
end.
wanna help,
I-
but
I
I
love
also
doing
don't want
that.
my taxes to keep going up
I know.
$1,000 every year.
I know, I'm with you, believe me.
Well, we need to promote development as appropriate. That's a big part. There's a lot of fear of bringing in development because there's a fear that it's going to destroy the town. And I understand that in a lot of the town, but on the outskirts, we need to look at smart growth because the new growth from bringing in businesses is going to help
We
keep
have
people's
to.
taxes from going up constantly.
Right,
The
right.
work on
Also
the,
to retain your employees, if that doesn't happen, you're gonna be hiring new people and
Right.
the cost is gonna be
exactly.
higher
It's
than
great,
the one
yeah,
that just left.
exactly.
That's
yeah.
why
Yep.
It used to bother me all the time, especially working in HR and seeing things happen and people being, somebody would leave or retire or whatever, and they'd hire two people to do that person's job at, this much more than what that person was making when they left. It broke my heart sometimes, some of those things you'd see. So anyway, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the recommendation from our town administrator with a 3% COLA and a 2% one-time market adjustment equal to approximately one step increase. We do recognize all the things that you have listed here. And I just don't know, it used to be the biggest thing to go and work for a municipality. Same with the post office. The post office has
A
signed
federal job.
a federal job. I mean, everybody was fighting over those jobs back in the old days, right? Don't you think?
I'm much younger than you.
Oh, you are, no. But you know what I mean?
The old days.
When you think of it,
5
there were
years ago.
all,
I'm 2
everybody,
years- 2
nobody
years
could
younger.
wait. I mean, there was a waiting list of people to come work for a town
Yeah.
or for the post office or that type of job. So anyway, I'd like to make that,
I will second it.
okay? And all
And
those
I-
in favor?
Absolutely, I strongly
Yeah,
support this. I do hope that we can do something about that school budget because it's not only destroying us financially, but it also pulls the people apart.
It does, and once you start to get town versus school in a community, I came
it's.
from a community where 15 years ago, the school rated stabilization, and you wanna talk about the animosity that still existed when I left 3 years ago,
Yeah.
it's ugly,
Yeah.
it's bad, I don't wanna
Yeah.
see it here, we
Yeah.
have to get to a better place.
But we have it. Right now, it's.
We do,
It's,
it's growing,
it's
and
there.
I'm trying to,
Yeah.
And-
I have a lot of faith in the current school administration, they have been absolutely wonderful to work with, they are seasoned professionals, they know what they're talking about. Of course, they're gonna advocate for the kids,
Right,
but I'm
Right.
gonna advocate for our
Yeah.
employees just
Yeah.
as hard, so.
I would like to see.
so we'll talk about the roof tomorrow night, so.
Well, and also, this is on the select board agenda tomorrow, because we need to pass it this week in order to have the budget process
Oh, good,
go out.
okay,
So,
good.
if you're available, we're gonna take it right at 6:30, we start 6:30 tomorrow? We've got 2 items on the agenda before we go into the town meeting info
Yeah,
session,
good.
so.
Good. Well, thank you very much for all this. We appreciate it, and thank you for supporting, because we do recognize that, how much you guys do. So,
Thank you, guys. And thank you, Dee.
Everybody.
Yeah,
is-
exactly.
Yes, very much, thank you.
yeah, very good, thank you.
And these, by the way, I have extras, feel free to share them, hand them out. I tried to distill it down so that, you have your justification for what you're supporting.
Great. Okay, so the next item is PAFs. Do we have some?
We have a few. All right.
And I promise I'll try not to.
Don't steal stuff.
So,
Don't abscond
did you
with
see
any
that?
tonight.
You took some home?
I took some home.
We're gonna check her bag
In
before
April,
she leaves.
in April, I took it home.
It's been long.
Anyway,
All right, the first is the retirement of Joanne Wincoop, who was our property lister for many years. She has retired, and I do have her replacement in here, it's just not right next to it.
okay, great.
Do you want me to do a few, or how do you want me to,
Keep going.
Just
and
keep
we'll-
going?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
and stop me if you need to. We also have a change of Ken Patton, who was our building maintenance operator, switched over to highway full-time. And from everything I hear, he is doing marvelously.
Oh,
So
good.
we're still
Yeah.
trying to fill the building maintenance operator position. We did have someone in it. They did leave. We've advertised it a couple of times. We wanna make sure we get the right person for that position, so working on that.
so his former position was
He was the
Build-
building maintenance
maintenance,
operator.
okay, that's
Yep.
right, building maintenance, okay.
And unfortunately, we did have a
Great.
good candidate, and when push came to shove recently, the salary was too low, and they did not take the position.
Oh,
So we're gonna keep going though, that's all we can do. The next is where am I at here? Fire EMS, Jasmine Murillo, and this is a resignation. She was a call employee, and I believe that's an older one that we were catching
yeah,
up on, is that
okay.
Do I have it?
Jasmine Murillo?
I haven't seen that one yet.
I think we were trying to close out a couple loose ends that were open with PAFs that hadn't gotten processed for folks that had kind of dropped off on the call side. We wanna make sure we have it documented and all of the paperwork done. The next one is for our 11th police officer, I'm gonna mess this name up, Matthew Shepiel. That's really terrible, and I apologize, Matthew. He is currently in the academy and is due to be out early next year.
Great.
Alright, and the next one is
The way they
for
pronounce it
library
is not how I
assistant,
would-
No.
Marlene Kennedy. So she is a library assistant 3 that has come on with us. And then I have, slow me down if I'm going too fast. Chief of Police, Eric Shartner, contractual adjustment that kicked off July 1.
Library assistant.
I have Dylan Soldi resignation from police. He was a part-time police officer. He has taken a full-time position elsewhere.
So was he, when you say part-time, was he per diem? Is that,
He was one of our, they're in the contract, so they're
Yeah.
they're in the union contract,
Yeah.
so it was basically that.
Yeah.
We called him part-time, but
Yeah.
they picked up shifts.
He did a lot of shifts.
In the police, yeah.
Filled in when we had open
Okay.
shifts, yeah. And I forget where he went, but best of luck to him. He was great to work with always,
Do
so.
we- They're part-timers in police, but they're called in fire when they're,
that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
per
We
diem
have
is,
part-time in
there is
fire.
no per diem in
Correct.
police.
Oh,
and even
okay.
fire.
And
Oh,
in
that's
fire,
what I
we
thought.
changed
Okay.
them to
Yeah.
We have per diems and then we have call.
That's what I was trying to get
Full
okay.
Chief
per
McCullen
diem.
to change, because we have,
Okay.
the difference between per diems,
Yeah.
call, and
Yeah.
fire was just,
Right.
no, let's
So, yeah,
figure it out, folks.
We
Yeah.
made it, I thought we corrected in the last
I
contract.
thought we did
but
too.
If we didn't, good news, we're about to enter contract negotiations with
Right.
fire because
Oh,
their
jeez.
contract is up June 30th.
Already?
They were good though
Wow.
the last time, so maybe.
They were reasonable to work with. I mean, this will be their 3rd contract. My only concern, in all fairness, is, once you get into your 3rd contract, you start looking for more things. So we'll see how that
They
goes.
worked out all
But
their
I
first bucks,
will
yeah.
push back on the fact that I feel like we were very fair in adjusting wages to market rate, and that needs to be taken into account.
This is the 11th month, and I've been just copying whatever the person wrote above me.
That's all right, yeah.
We also have another new officer, Brendan Judge. Brendan Judge took over,
Oh, that's the guy
But
that
it's right here. It's already signed.
not signed by personnel though?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
the
the
old
guy.
one.
Oh, I'm
That's the
sorry.
one
Oh,
I-
this is my, thank
That's
you.
the one I had, sorry.
Okay, no, not a
It was in
problem.
my stuff.
Yeah, I'll just put those together. Okay, thank you. I forgot who it was. We also have a rehire of Maureen Agima for CPA. She did retire. We had to repost the position. In all fairness, there was a Worcester Regional issue. Tim did want to rehire her, but we went through the full recruitment process under
Yeah.
law that we had to do.
Okay, all right, yeah, I think I saw the, letter on that. that
Yes.
She had to be out for so many,
It was like 2 weeks.
yeah.
20 days, I think.
Isn't that something,
I-
huh?
And when we have somebody that's, oh yeah, so that's her rehire, and then her resignation is right behind it.
So resignation first, then rehire.
Yes, yeah.
All right, then we have a contractual step increase for Sergeant Tim Andre. We have the resignation of the building maintenance operator, Michael Jenkins, as I had mentioned before. Sorry, I need that one. Nope, I need Tim back, I'm sorry.
Tim.
Yeah.
Services,
Cause we also had
Michael Jenkins.
I keep calling it Quimbo and I know I'm not supposed to, an educational incentive increase because Sergeant Andre just obtained his master's degree. So there's 2 in this one.
Highway resignation.
Yeah, I try and write them in the comments when I think of it because it just makes it easier for everybody because these forms are busy. It's on our list of things to.
It's on the list.
I'm on the list for a bit, but we'll get there. A contractual step increase for Detective Jacob Russia. and a contractual increase for Patrick May, who is a patrol officer. Oh, sorry, and one more. We have a new conservation agent, Julia Danielson, started with us, and she is doing great. So we have her new hire, PAF.
She took Maddie's.
She took
Yeah.
Maddie's, yeah.
Oh, good, that's
yeah.
great, you guys. Okay,
All right, and then last but not least, Christine Peterson, who is our new property lister, taking over for Joanne, who retired.
Is it in any relation to our,
No,
okay.
well, not that I'm aware of.
and that's,
That makes me think, did we get a resignation,
I
PAF
was
for
just
Maddie? Is that what you were
thinking
thinking about too? Cause I was looking
Yeah.
going, did I leave one in here?
I'm not,
I don't think I
Yeah.
saw that one.
well,
I
yeah, that
can-
was in April, so you gave me.
Oh,
gave-
cause she gave her notice well
Yeah.
in advance.
Yes, she
Okay.
did, and that
Okay,
was,
good.
the only reason is 'cause that I had to do the minutes.
I think there's like a handful of others that we may have to.
Okay, we'll check that out for the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that went through
It's on the
the
list.
last
I
meeting.
know, that list
Um,
keeps growing.
No, we didn't do the PAF yet. We did, the town administrator reported that Maddie has resigned
I was gonna
her
say,
part-time,
yeah,
but we didn't do the PAF yet.
cause Carolyn happened to be here, I think, at the time.
Let me follow up, we'll get that done.
Jacob has a step increase.
He does, and
Did he also get the title? You said detective. Did he take over? He got the detective position.
he did, that was advertised, he applied for
Right.
it,
It's just
and was
not-
promoed, does it not? Does that one not have a stipend on it, or are they two separate ones for
There
him?
is, but there may have been a separate one. Is that, I don't,
Let me look for that one too.
I was gonna say, is that a newer one? Oh, it actually says here, it's the stipend.
Yeah, but it's say for
Oh, so it's the step increase and the stipend rolled into one?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, step 4, and then stipend is
Okay,
separate
so
down here.
it's titled, because the title is so important.
Title is wrong, yes, apologies on that one.
Worked hard for that.
It's a family
For you
thing
to
right
look
now.
at. I signed those, but you can look at them. Okay, so, given those PAFs, I'd like to make a motion that we approve them.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You take them so she
I was gonna
doesn't
say
take them.
directly to Kristen.
Got any stick